Welcome over to the video. Welcome to the channel. Today is Friday for me. This video will be out on a Saturday. So, if you watched any of my Goodwill videos, any of my thrifting videos, you will see I went to two different locations this week. I went to Salvation Army and I went to the bins, the Goodwill bins. So let me know what you think of those. If you haven't seen those are on the channel as well too. Like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. We'll look at what sold. We'll get into some discussion topics. I'm going to talk about mugs today, as well as a little bit of pottery, stuff like that. And, oh, what else? There was something else I wanted to bring up, but I'll probably remember. You know, I couldn't find my notebook. I have no idea what I did with my notebook. It's somewhere here in the garage. I have no idea exactly what happened to it, so I got to find it. So that way I can take notes. I was going to take notes this morning. Usually I do it in the morning. I get my notes together, but I didn't do that this morning because I couldn't find it. So, yeah, we'll get into some discussion points and all that later on. But after last week's whiskey, the whiskey I didn't like, whiskey issue, a bottle, a brand, which I thought was, I was like, it's a Willet, it's going to be good no matter what. I mean, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good whiskey. I was expecting more is what I was expecting, and I didn't get that. So this week, I went into the backpack, and I pulled out one of my favorite bottles here. Now, this distillery, I think they are still in operation, not 100% sure. It is a Speyside whiskey, so when you think Speyside, Scotch whiskey, first that comes to mind is Macallan, of course. It's the big elephant there, the big dog. But there are other Speyside whiskeys as well, too, that are out there, and this is one of them. This bottle, you can't get this bottle anymore. This was Alexander and Murray. So Alexander and Murray is a distributor, and you may be familiar with them if you have a Costco that sells spirits, or they're a big distributor of alcohol to Costco's. But they do release these, these special batches from time to time. I do pick them up because they're usually priced very, very well. As you can see, this is a 21-year-old. Now, when you're talking like Scotch, we're talking any whiskey, and you're getting up to the 20 years, you're going to be spending quite a bit per bottle. I don't remember exactly. This was many, many years ago when I bought this, so I don't really remember exactly what I paid for it. But the last time I looked to see how much this bottle goes for, brand new that is, brand new sealed, it was $299.99 for the bottle. So no clue what it potentially goes for now, but 21 year. Now, does the year matter? Does it matter that it's over 20 years old? It's up to you. It's up to your taste buds. Do you want to spend that kind of money on a bottle of whiskey? More than likely, it's more often than not. It's not really going to make like, oh my God, it's so good. It's 20 years. You really taste all the years. No, not really. Based on my experience, and I've tried many whiskeys. But this is a very good one. It's a very good one, and if you do get the chance to purchase, a whiskey that's up over 20 years, I would definitely recommend, if it's a price point that is good, that you're willing to spend on a whiskey, you're going to end up drinking it anyway. If you're going to be spending that kind of money, or you have that kind of money just to throw around, and you want to dip into these higher year whiskeys, I'd say do it if you want, Typically, they are good. They are really good, very complex, and offer a great drinking experience. Now, as you can see, I've already had some pours of this. Definitely trying to preserve it, because I know it's not very often I go spending the money on a 20 plus, even 18 years. I think an 18-year Macallan is up over $150 at least, if not more. So checking the glass, see if it's clean. Get a little pour on there. Okay. Like I said, we're going to the back because last week's whiskey was. I already got the vapors on this one already. It's Speyside. So it's going to be nice, light, sweet, candy. I'm already getting all the fruit. I mean, I don't need to even, you don't need to even put your nose in this one. All the flavors are coming out of here. The rich, deep, sweet, fruity flavors. A little bit of smoke in there. Not too much smoke. I don't really get too much smoke off of Speyside whiskeys myself. It is there, but really, what really dominates the nose on Speysides for me is the sweet fruitiness of the whiskey. Not that it's made with fruit, but it has the aging process from the barrels, from the the distilled the spirit itself. Once it's distilled, it's pretty much the same as all the others, and then then they start putting in barrels. You got your Islas, which then they get smoked with the barley, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The barley gets smoked with peat. So when they distill it, it's going to have that peat smoke in it, because they smoke it before they actually turn the malt into a spirit. So or the barley into a spirit. But sometimes they get the smoke from the barrels as well too, because those barrels are usually charred. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Scotch whiskey they use traditionally. They use they have used bourbon barrels from America. So they've already been used with, in the process of making bourbon. And bourbon, you have to and if I'm not mistaken, one of the rules with bourbon, you have to use new charred oak. So they're new charred oak barrels. And then then Scotch uses those barrels. So so you're definitely getting it from the barrel. You're getting it from, the flavors come from the process of it aging, where it's been aged, how it's been aged, how long. It could vary so different from region to region, not just in Scotland, but wherever you make your whiskey. It could be far different, if you're distilling it somewhere in a lowland versus a highland, so a lot, it's complex. It's a complex process. So, I mean, the smell that is emanating from here, like I said, sweet fruit and fruits, candy fruit. Not really. There's not too much heat. Some people automatically assume with aging it, I don't like to say really smooth, but a lot of people say, "Oh, it's smooth. It's a very smooth whiskey." Well, what they're really referring to is that there's not that much. You don't get hit with that alcohol, with the the heat from the alcohol. It just goes down nice and easy. But there is a smoothness to it. It's not, the alcohol is there. There is alcohol there. It's 43%. So just over 80%. 80 proof. Sorry, not percent. 80 proof. The alcohol is there, but it's not so dominant. And sometimes, the higher proof, you get more flavor out of it sometimes. But there's definitely, a burn, so to speak, a burn there, or a pepperiness, or a heat. I generally say heat, or spiciness to it, a bite to it. Many ways you can describe it. It's definitely there, but just a cool, mellow. Man, this is really, it's really good. This is one of the good over 20 plus year whiskeys that I have in my collection. So we still drink it, we still open it, we still drink it, we still enjoy it. But as you can see, I've had this for many years already. I forgot what year I actually bought it in. It's been well over 5 years that I've had it sitting in my cabinet, and I'll break it out, have a sip from time to time, share it with friends, because not everybody necessarily gets to taste a 20-year plus whiskey. So I want to enjoy, spread the love, basically. Okay. Let's go straight into the what solds here, so we get that over with. So those people that are wanting to know about the what solds, let's jump into that first. And then after the what solds will be the discussion points. Oh, really quickly, I did want to bring up, because last week I talked about the ads, how, like 99% of my listings were rejected by Google Ads. They weren't getting pushed out to offsite, and I was gonna have to change things up. So I did. I made all the changes that I wanted to make, and I do believe, and I talked about this before. With offsite ads, I'm used to running offsite ads on my own website. And I know how expensive it can get, but I know the control that you can have in directing who you want to see those ads, who you want to target with your ads. And I kind of wanted that with eBay when I saw they were going to have offsite ads, the ability to kind of target ads. Now, priority ads, with priority ads on eBay, you get that same kind of targeting feature, but it's primarily geared towards just on the eBay platform, not going off site. However, based on what I found out regarding my ads getting rejected, I think I have bit of a strategy, or developed a bit of a strategy to have a little bit of control in targeting, a little bit of control in trying to, target the right buyers. So, or I guess more, which items I want to be pushed out to offsite, by changing the shipping, my business policy basically, and creating a flat rate shipping policy. And that way I can, if you saw the last video, you know that I need to do a flat rate shipping in order for it to get pushed out to Google Ads. And Google does not like the calculated shipping. So I did all my changes, and I'm seeing pretty good results from that, not just from offsite ads, but also from priority ads. My priority ads are lasting longer because that's pay by click. As a matter of fact, offsite ads is pay by click as well too. So we're seeing some incredible success now, and hopefully that success continues and it continues to grow. Okay. So first thing we're going to look at here in the what sold is a breakdown of fees, show you exactly what gets taken out and what gets deposited. And right here we have a mouse. I do sell a lot of mice, computer mice. It is one of my specialties, something I do enjoy selling, along with keyboards, computer peripherals. I have a keyboard collection myself. Not really so much a mouse collection, although I do like my old school trackball mice. These are the old ones. This is a wireless Logitech one. Really good one. I mean, if you find it, it is a Bolo, along with a Microsoft as well too, that I can't get out here. It's kind of tied up right now, but it is the Microsoft one is USB wired, so I can't. I don't know what it's stuck on right now, but I can't show you. All right, never mind. But they are the trackball mice. There's the Microsoft one. They're older. There's a Logitech one as well too. And I don't necessarily collect mice, but I do collect keyboards. But this mouse is really cool. It's a gaming mouse. It is a Razer, R-A-Z-E-R is how they spell that. We have the V3X HyperX. It is wireless. It does have a dongle with it built in. This is also, it's not rechargeable, but it does use AA batteries. Really, really cool mouse. Razer makes great mice. I actually I use a Razer, not as much as I would like to, but I use this Razer right here. This is a Razer Death Adder Pro, so it has a little bit of dust on it because I haven't used it in a while, but it's a really great mouse. I like it. It's nice and lightweight, and it's rechargeable. And what did this sell for? It sold for $31.39. Then what they paid, wherever I went, I forgot where it went, but wherever I went, they had no sales tax. Maybe Oregon, maybe who else doesn't have? I know Oregon doesn't. I'm not sure what. I know there's a few states that do not have sales tax. So obviously, it went somewhere like that. So they only paid the shipping, and the order total, as you see there, $36.60. And then we have the transaction fees, which is what eBay takes. We have the actual label cost. So I do make a little bit off the shipping, and that goes towards paying for shipping supplies. And then this went via ad. I think I didn't check this out beforehand, but I think this one was at 9%. You can probably do the calculation. $24.65 is what the total earnings. That's what actually gets deposited into the account. And then we have the actual fees. This fee does not include the ad fee. This is the actual, this is just the fees. As you can see right here, they have upped the fee. It used to be 12.35. It's 12.35 for me because I do have a store subscription, so that does lower the fees. So now it as of last week or the week before, I think it was on the 14th if I remember correctly. It went up by went up 35 cents. So, I mean 0.35% is what it went up, not 35 cents. 0.35%. So 12.7. I can't talk today. 12.7% times the grand total with your shipping. If there was tax in there, that would be rolled up in there as well too. Top rated seller discount. You won't see this on many people's accounts, but you have to be a top rated plus seller, and you have to have free shipping with a minimum of 30 days. And you have to be able to ship out with a minimum of 1 business day. You can do same day if you want, but 1 business day, which is what I do, and you get an additional 10% off the fee right here. They calculate the fee first, then they take 10% off that, which then don't forget about this final value fee. A lot of people forget about this final value fee of 40 cents. So this pretty much cancels that out, and then a little bit extra from 6 cents. So for this total fees right here. So those are the fees. Now let's get into the other what solds. We're not going to break down all the fees on everything. And I do recommend checking your fees from time to time, just making sure you're getting charged appropriately. You're not getting overcharged. And, I don't do it on every single one. I, periodically will pick out a few and just check it out, make sure everything looks good. And, because I have heard of issues where they do take more fees by accident or by, maybe you make a mistake and you didn't mean to do, to do so much promotions, so yeah, keep an eye on everything. Okay, this is Owl Crate. And what is an Owl Crate? Owl Crate is a box service. I believe they were more geared towards books, I think. Not 100% sure. But a really cool hand mirror. And, obviously it is the helmet of a Greek, or I believe it's pronounced Hellenites, which is what they call themselves. They didn't call themselves Greeks. We call them Greeks. They didn't call themselves Greeks. I believe we get the word Greek from... It is based on what the Romans called them, if I'm not mistaken. We get a lot from the Romans. But that's why Hellenites is in there, because, someone that is looking for a Hellenite, they might see that in there. But the hand mirror, really cool. Hand mirrors do really well. Vintage hand mirrors do really well. This is not vintage, but vintage inspired. The Song of Achilles during the Trojan War. When do we hear about Achilles and the Trojan War? And how much did this mirror sell for? $11.75. It's small. It's easy to ship. Did they buy it because of the mirror? Maybe. Maybe they are into, Greek history. And that can also appeal to those types of people as well. It was really nice, really well made. It did have a bit of a weight to it. It didn't go over, I think it was like close to 10 ounces. But they paid $6.84 for the shipping on this item. And this went in a padded poly mailer. I did wrap it a couple of times with bubble wrap already and then put it in the bubble mailer. Most of my items do get wrapped in bubble wrap before they actually go into the bubble mailer. Now, if you're buying your bubble wrap locally, if you're going like to, Walmart, Target, your Office Depot, if you're going to, what's the other place? U-Hauls, you might be paying way too much. You might be thinking, dang, you're wrapping everything. That's expensive. Well, I don't buy from there. I buy it online. I buy everything, not everything. I buy most of my supplies from Uline, and you can get a great deal if you buy in bulk. I get massive rolls. They look like gigantic, like dump truck wheels when they get delivered. It's huge. So, look for cheaper options, and sometimes that means buying more than actually in that moment. So you're gonna buy more, you get a discount overall. Obviously, if you're just starting out, or you're just beginning, or you're doing like a couple of sales here and there, 1, 2 sales a day, whatever your goal is, you might not need to buy that much. It might be overkill. You might have the space to store all that. So it's more of a better to go to some of these stores. Check on Amazon. You can definitely price things out and look for the best deal possible. Okay, this was a really cool find. This is a little sewing box, so you can, I guess, if you do like a cross stitch something, you can put it on the face of this box. I believe that's how it works exactly. So you kind of decorate a box, and then you have a little decorated box with a little cross stitch. Homemade item, semi homemade, because the box isn't homemade, but you can make it semi homemade. Really, really cool. It's by Sudbury, Betsy Box, needlework display. Really cool. Just a little square, very lightweight. This one went in a box, 975 box, so one of my hat boxes. And this one sold for $30.12, and they paid $10 even in shipping. So really cool. Sewing stuff does incredibly well. I've talked about the sewing kits. Keep your eye out for them. If they're brand new, even better. So sewing stuff does incredibly well. Not so much loose or used. Try to stick towards. There are some that will do well, but try to stick to our brand new if you can and get it for a good price. You generally can, because not that many people think sewing stuff still sells, but it does. Another thing that's kind of, I think, coming back in favor here are digital cameras. Now, they always sell. They do always sell. They sell pretty consistently if they're priced right. But I think there's a bit of a resurgence coming back with these small point-and-shoot cameras. So definitely keep your eye out for them. It is electronic, so you want to pay. You don't want to pay too much when you're out and about, especially if you can't test them, because you never know. Do they work? Do they not work? Typically, these will be priced up. People do price them up, along with all electronics. But this one here, this Olympus one, this one's sold for, without a charger, mind you, and get yourself a universal charging adapter. Look on Amazon. Even with these little lithium-ion batteries, there's universal adapters for them. So keep your eye out for that stuff. Pick one up if you do plan on buying a lot of small digital cameras. You're going to need it. It's going to come in handy, because I sold this with no charger. $31.26 is what this sold for. Small padded poly bag is what this went in. Now, this was an interesting one. This is the headset, but it's not a traditional headset. This actually, technically, you could probably fit it with anything, but this actually goes for it's made for a DS. I'm sorry, not DS. A Game Boy Advance is what it's made for. Brand new, still sealed in the original packaging. Nintendo stuff, Nintendo accessories generally do really well. Try to find a brand new, some of the original or OEM direct from Nintendo. If you find that stuff brand new, it's like gold. But some of these third party or other companies that are not Nintendo that make accessories for these older devices, if you can find a brand new, used, in my experience, they don't go for that much, but brand new, they still command a bit of a premium, and generally you can get it for a decent price. $31.18 is what this one sold for, and this went in a padded poly bag. Now this was really cool. Dixie cups, Star Wars. These are vintage, as you can see there. You have, just a collection of Dixie cups. This was opened. All the cups were in there, but it was open. And I think it was open just because the glue holding it together just gave out over the years. But just so cool. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Not really in my wheelhouse of collecting for Star Wars right now. I just collect a bunch of Lego Star Wars. But this was really cool. What did it sell for? I wish I had my notebooks. I can see, just have it all written down. $47.67 is what this sold for. This went in a box, 12 by 12 by 8 by 6 box is what this one went into. So really, really cool. I definitely wanted to take a little bit of care in it just because, it is a collector's item. And, if it is a collector's item, I won't necessarily put it in a padded poly bag, especially something this old. Something this old is not going to go in a padded poly bag. I don't want, the box was already not in rough shape, but I didn't want it to get any more potential damage. And not that, items in my padded poly bags, knock on wood, of course, not that my items in padded poly bags get damaged. I used to order a lot of Star Wars action figures, brand new in the package, many, many years ago. And I learned that you can send them in padded poly bags with the appropriate packaging material. And I do send a lot of action figures, brand new, sealed, in padded poly bags. They do make it safe. You think of it like just a large pillow. You have to use bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is your friend. Occasionally, I will use packaging paper in there. Very rare, though. Very rare. But make sure you get yourself good padded poly bags. I get all my... I keep saying all my supplies. It's not all my supplies. Most of my supplies come from Uline. I'm looking at them. They're right up there. Well, yeah, they're right over there. Well, for me, everything's opposite on the camera. I'm looking at it opposite. So, all my stuff is up there. I'm looking at it right now. They're all nice. I buy. It's not that I necessarily buy heavy. You can get more heavier duty than the ones I buy, but they are very well made. And I was getting a bunch of collectible action figures brand new in the package. I was buying from one person pretty consistently many years ago, and I'm out of the action figure brand new package. All my stuff is loose now. I prefer loose figures. I'm no longer in the brand new pristine condition box anymore business, buying or collecting, selling or collecting, really. Oh, not selling, take it back, I don't sell them. but as far as buying them for myself, I prefer to have them used out of the package. So, yeah, there was somebody that I was buying from regularly. They would send me these figures. And at first I was concerned, but everything came perfectly fine. And I was ordering more and sending the same way. And in these padded poly bags, they were wrapped up with additional bubble wrap. And they were coming perfectly fine. And I was like, okay, cool. And, I had no complaints. And so I started doing that. I was like, all right, because at that time I was selling mostly toys and computer parts. So then I started doing that with my action figures, and everything was fine. Occasionally, yeah, there are issues with shipping, but you're going to encounter that no matter what. When you're shipping out so many items, you're gonna run into issues with shipping. It's gonna happen. Things are gonna break. Things are gonna get crushed. I had a rare action figure, Star Wars Old Republic, Darth Malgus, vintage collection, sent in a box with packaging material, and it was completely destroyed. By the time I got it, the box was completely flattened out. The figure was fine, but the packaging material, and that, like I said, at that time I was collecting new in the package. The package, the bubble, everything was smashed. It was completely out of the package already at that point. It was used technically, and I was, so I was like, man, this thing just got. I don't know what happened to it. Something fell on it that caused it to be. The box was completely flattened. So, either way. I went off on a tangent there. But let's move on. This really cool piece here. What direction was I going in? That's the question of the day. Okay, here we go. So you see me use these cups all the time. And I have found these, and I do sell them when I find them. But really cool, tasting glasses, whiskey, cognac. Technically, the brand is a cognac brand. But this isn't a traditional, cognac or brandy sniffer glass. This is more of a whiskey style, tasting, sniffing, enjoying glass. Which is why I put that in the title. Tasting glasses, whiskey, cognac, brandy, tulip style is the style that you would call this here, or the shape that you would call this. Stem, I put the exact name of the brand that's actually etched into it, and barware, of course. And what did it sell for? $28.17 for the pair. And this goes in a box. Most glass goes in a box. This one in one of my hat boxes, so 975 box. Next item is a cell phone, a vintage cell phone PDA. I remember when one of the first cell phone PDA, I think it was through Sprint, and it was a very, very long, like bar style phone. Had a little flip cover for your dial. Didn't really have a full keyboard. And then it just had a very, very long, elongated screen. It was really, really cool. Back in the day, it was really, really cool. And then they started coming out with more better ones, color. And this is one of them from HP. This is really, really cool. It still works. Battery is completely gone, so you have to have this plugged in. And that was stated in the description and everything. But we have an HP iPac 500 series. These things still sell really well. What are the other, like handspring PDA devices? Do really well. I don't think they're cell phones, but some of them might have Wi-Fi. I forgot what the major brand was. Palm Pilots. Palm Pilots do incredibly well. The problem is make sure they work. That's the issue. Usually they don't work, so make sure you're testing them or buying them dirt cheap. Sometimes they will sell even broken. Just check your comps, and see what they're going for. $27.37 is what this one sold for. So really, really cool. Candles, candle supplies, candle accessories, candle holders. I generally will pick up most, if they're priced right, Bath and Body Works candle holders, because they're expensive in the stores. I think this one still had the price tag on it. I think it was $27 in the store. Expensive for a very light piece of metal. But people do pay up for these in the store as well as on the secondary market. And some of these, they'll have them for a season, then they'll be gone. And, some people will be looking for those. Some people collect them. You know how many people are inside Bath and Body Works? There's a lot of people. I do go in there, and I like candles as well, too. And we do have candles that we burn in our house. But what did this sell for? Oh, I forgot, the HP iPac cell phone PDA thing. That went inside a padded poly mailer. And then this one here, this one in a box, because, I don't want the metal to get all bent up, out of shape. This one in one of my 8x8x8 boxes. Unusual size. I don't really use that much. $21.15. I forgot to say what the shipping was on some of those, right? $7.67 what they paid in shipping on this. On the phone, it was the same. $7.67 what they paid in shipping on that as well, too. So, really, really cool. Keep your eye out for Bath & Body Works. Again, some of them are limited edition. They only come out for a season and they're gone. Then you don't see them again. Okay. Now, next thing is something I remember from my childhood here. These wooden, usually out of Michael's, if I remember correctly, but just building out a wooden skeleton dinosaur. Really cool. I had a bunch of these, and they use a little bit of wood glue so they wouldn't come undone. Display them. I don't know if the ones I had when I was a kid were Smithsonian branded. Not really sure. But just really cool. It was an open box, and this went in a big, giant padded poly bag. It was all brand new. Make sure, you check it out, especially if it's open. Go in there, check it out, make sure all the pieces, they pop out of, they have, just wooden, they're just, wooden plates, and they have the cutouts in there. Make sure they're all in there. No one's popped anything out before. And this one sold for $19.79, $6.21 is what they paid in shipping. So really cool, just a memory from my childhood. This was very interesting to me. Eden the Snowman Raymond Briggs plush. This sold rapidly. Within a day. I forgot. It was very, very quick. It sold for $29.26. So above average for a plush. $6.84 what they paid in shipping. This went in a poly bag. Because it's a plush. Really cool. I mean, Eden? Are all Eden like this? Or is it just the Snowman Eden? I really didn't do too much research not outside of just Snowman guy, because there's two snowmen that I have. But I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing for a plush, in my opinion. They're, plush generally are not really worth it. Don't really go for that much, and are very slow sellers. But This one is, just hits above the belt there. This is the one that, that you'll want to look out for. This Eden the Snowman. This did have some staining around the nose. Where's my mouse at? There it is. Around the nose area. I don't know if there was like some bleeding from the orange nose, but it did have a little bit of yellowing around that area there. So I did disclose it, took an up close picture, and still sold very, very fast. So very cool. Keep her out. Eden the Snowman. Now, these wood inlays pictures can be pretty tough sells. They can stick around for a while. This one was very clean, very nice, well made, and I thought for sure, and I did find comps on it, so I was like, wow, this should be a pretty good sell. And I did, and it sold pretty well. It took several weeks to sell, but it did. It's one of my usual size boxes, 14, 10, 6. But really cool, very, very easy to picture, store, box up, everything. Very, very easy. $45 even is what they paid. $11.70 is what they paid in shipping. So it's a really cool picture. I mean, it was just, usually I find these all chipped up, banged up, especially in the flea market. They're all chipped up, banged up, messed up, inlays falling out, just jacked. Even at the Goodwill, But if I see good ones, good, clean, nice, still decent, still no chipped up wood, I'll probably pick them up and try to resell them because they do sell. It's really cool. Now, this is a pat on my back. This is one of those things where, there's no sell-through rate at all. Who knows if you're looking at it wherever you're buying your items, you're like, is this going to sell? I'm not going to sell. There's no data to support any type of sale, but it still does. It's still sold. What did it sell for? Went in a small padded poly bag, mind you. Get that out of the way first. Or tell you what it is out of the way. $23.77. This is actually, as you can see, Humboldt County. So this is from California. Avenue of the Giants, a medal for participating in a marathon. Just really, really cool. Nature scene. It's a medal. It's not bronze or copper. I think it's just it's just a metal copper color. It's not, anything, it's not a metal of value, but it's all in the picture. It's all in, just a cool subject matter. Avenue of the Giants, really cool piece. And I knew it would sell. Someone was asking me the other day, like, how do you know, the items, they look at my cart, they're like, how do you know that stuff's got, I mean, how do you learn to buy it? I'm like, it takes experience. And, after I thought about it, well over 20 years of experience, but as I thought about it, a little bit more, and I was kind of, I was like, sometimes, it's something that needs to first have, a quality about it. Sometimes that could be the weight. Sometimes it could be the feel of like a purse and leather, that draws me in, that pulls me in to do further investigation, to know that it has some value, subject matter. Sometimes, and I was really thinking about it, I was like, sometimes it could be like an emotion, it draws an emotion out of me. I talk a lot about items I find from my childhood or I see from my childhood. One of my last videos, I picked up I was talking about this penguin. It was from Montgomery Ward, and as a kid, I remember, when I'm thinking back as a kid, I remember all those memories of going to Montgomery Ward and, good time when I was a kid. Yeah, everything, I really didn't have any worries as a kid. It was all about a good time. And, that just drew me back to my childhood. So the memories, sometimes it's the emotions, drawing an emotion out of me. And, so that's kind of like gets rolled into, kind of like gets rolled into, I'm going with my gut, with my gut on some of these items. And, it works. It works. And when it stops working, I'm going to stop buying those items. But, for now, it's a pat on my back. It's a pat on my back that I was aware that I should be picking this up. I can sell it. We can make some decent money. And over 20 bucks is pretty decent in my opinion. $23.77, $5.09 in shipping. So pretty cool. And another item here, a no-name marble coaster. This is a straight-up experience. You know, I know that coasters sell. I know that good coasters sell. Vintage coaster. This is vintage. It has the green felt underneath. Really cool marble. I don't pick up all coasters. You know, this is all because it is a cool marble coaster. I do pick up the aluminum ones as well too if I do find them. Cool metal ones. You know, I'm not picking up those cardboard ones or the cork ones. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I have sold them before, so you know there is money there to be made. But this is just all experience. You know, this marble stuff. It's cool. It's you know, it's got a vibe. It's gonna fit someone's decor. So really cool. What did it sell for? Oh, I already 1990. I didn't say 1997 is what it sold for. $13.92 what they paid in shipping, and this went in a 6x6x6 box. So really, I think that's all of them. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, that's all of them. Those are all the what solds that I wanted to show you, feature in this video. It's not everything that I sold. If we did that, we'd be here way too long. And you probably don't want to see like the Bose headphones I sold, the Sony, Sony Walkman I sold, or the a lot of common stuff, a lot of obvious stuff. I'm trying to bring you the cool, the unique, the interesting, the things that you see there, but like you pass by. Some of the stuff you can still make some good money on. Okay, I'm gonna stop it really quick just so I know where the cutoff point is, and I'll be right back with some. We'll talk some mugs. We'll talk pottery and mugs. Okay, now we're back. So we'll talk some pottery and some mugs. We will not let this whiskey go to waste. If I had to guess, I'd bet any spirit you buy in at a restaurant is going to be expensive. I mean, even just a shot of Jack Daniels is going to be expensive. Something like this, I wouldn't even be able to ballpark maybe $80-ish a glass, maybe. Yeah, they really charge a lot per glass, depending upon what kind of spirit you get. I get sometimes I usually just get a cheap. When I'm out and about, I just get something cheap. I don't want to waste that much money, because I know what it costs. But sometimes I will enjoy myself, and I'll have a Lefroy or something. And Lefroy is like $30 a glass, and Lefroy, it's a Lefroy 12-year, and Lefroy 12-year bottle I think is about $40 or $50, $40 I think. I'm pretty sure well, at Costco, mind you, Costco prices. I think it's $39.99 for a bottle of Lefroy. So basically, I could go buy myself a whole bottle for one glass that I'm buying at a bar somewhere. All that to say, I'm not wasting any sip of this one especially. Oh, gotta be careful. Okay. Really quick, let's just talk cameras really, really quick that I use. Actually, I didn't even bring my other camera out here. But I use, primarily use, you may see it in reflections, is a DJI Osmos Pocket 3. It does incredibly well. It's very good camera. Of course, you're going to be holding it. You're going to be holding it with one hand, so you only have one hand to operate with. A lot of people use the GoPros, and I do like the GoPros, and I used the GoPro for a while. Yeah, I don't know. The video quality to me isn't really as good as these other cameras I use. And it's not necessarily as versatile in my opinion, but it does work. It does work wonders. It just, great if you just want to capture everything. But I really wanted to kind of get a little more, when I'm making my videos, get a little more in there, get the tighter shot of what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing. The only thing is it's not a gimbal, so sometimes it kind of has a tendency to wander a little bit. So I gotta get it in control, with a little joystick it has, and it has a wireless mic, so that's always good. I do have the DJI version of the GoPro because it does, you can use the wireless mic with that, so you get better audio. In my opinion, you get better audio with that. But in my last Goodwill Bins video, because I didn't know the situation as far as recording goes, I whooped this guy out, and this is my Insta360 Go 3S. They have a 3 version, which only goes up to 2K, I believe, but this one goes up to 4K. So really, really cool. It has built-in memory, so you can't expand it. There's no little card to put in here, so keep that in mind. Comes in, I think, a couple of sizes. This is a 128 gig version. There's also a 64 gig version as well too. But what's so cool about this one, and what I like about this one, what I like about these, this camera and my DJI, you pretty much have no choice but to look at the screen. But the GoPro, you can do the same thing if you're holding it. But for the most part, you kind of have it usually attached somewhere, so you have hands free. But with this one here, what I like about this, a couple things. First, you can flip the screen up so you can see the screen. I think GoPros have they have a little screen right here that you can see. It's a little small screen in my opinion, and I don't have good eyes, so I need a bigger screen if I can get it. So really, really cool. But the selling feature here is you gotta press this button. Okay, there we go. It's got a really strong magnet. Is the camera module comes out. And then this is what I'm attaching to a little. It's magnetized. It has a magnet. So then I attach it to here, and it's just a very, very small profile, barely noticeable. When I went to the bins, I wore my a Star Wars. It had the puffy paint on it, so that way it kind of blended in. It had white puffy paint, so I kind of blended in because I wasn't sure what the situation was. Now, not only that, but look, you can also. I'll show you what's really cool about this one as well too, because you can operate it through your phone. But I'll show you my I don't want to show you my mess back there, but I'll show you my t-shirt here that I'm wearing. So you can actually see everything on the screen behind this. So you can use this as a remote. You can record, hit the record button from here, and you can record. You can turn it on and off from here. So you have all your different features you can use from here, and you have this camera here. You can also do it from your phone as well too. So you can just remain a little, incognito, as I like to say. Go into incognito mode. So that's what I use. That's what I like. And then, the battery on this, the problem is the battery on this obviously doesn't last that long. I think you can get about a good amount, probably about 40 minutes, 4K video. If you turn it down, obviously you can get more time out of it, the battery. But there's a battery on this too as well too. So in between, sessions of recording, I would pop it in here and get it charged up, and then boom, pop it back out, and keep it going. So really cool device. Definitely recommend it. One issue I do have with it comes in the editing part, because I use Adobe Premiere Pro. Not sure if this affects everything, but in Adobe Premiere Pro, for some bizarre reason, the recordings on here just chew up all of my resources on my computer. I don't know. I don't have that problem with GoPro, DJI, none of them. But with this one, for some bizarre reason, it just chews up all my resources on my computer, causes crashes, everything. So what I discovered is the video on here, I can actually, there's an app, there's a companion app, obviously, that you can use with this. It's also an editor as well, too. But I can edit the footage on my phone, and it actually does it quicker than my computer, which is kind of weird, because my computer is fairly powerful, way more powerful than my phone. I can render it out on my phone, and then transfer that to my computer. No big deal. Then it can handle it, piece of cake. Strange, right? Strange, all these weird little nuances. Okay, let's move on to mugs here. So mugs. I am a mug collector. I collect Deneen mugs. I'll show you right here. So here's one of them that I have. This is one I use pretty regularly because it's one of the larger sizes of Deneen mugs that they make, but really, really cool. If you can see it, it says Deneen, D-E-N-E-E-N. Usually have a year in there. It has a little marking on that, but a really cool mug. So really, really cool. Here's another Deneen mug right here. So I'm showing you the back right now. This is the back of the mug. I'll show you the front right in a second. Here's another one. This is the exact same style as this one. Size as well, too. Really, really cool. The glaze is different, obviously. You can see that. Really quick with glaze. I mentioned this in the video, but that won't be out for a few weeks. I think it's important to know be informed and know about the different nuances and stuff like that in regards to what you're buying. Just know what you're buying. But one thing we talk about in pottery and stuff like that, pottery that's been glazed, that is over time it can develop what appears to be cracks, but we call it crazing. And the crazing is a crack. It's a crack in the glaze. So the pottery, as you can see on the bottom, this is the raw pottery down here. Then it's covered in a glaze. Just think of you're painting it. But glaze, has a lot of different things in it. And one of the main ones is silica. Silica is also the primary ingredient in glass as well too. So it's pretty much, it is a glass. And what's happening here is you're painting it with the glaze, and then you're firing it, put it in a fire again, obviously, and you're fusing that glaze to the pottery. So you're basically sealing it. It's not going to leak because the pottery, this material right here, is porous. So there are some drinks that I do get that come in just unglazed like this, and you'll start to feel the liquid coming through it. So it is porous. So for the most part, it's sealed all the way in with glaze, with a glaze. There are clear glazes you can get, so you can keep the original look, but it's just covered in a clear glaze, so it's clear, so you can still see this. That color, but obviously most of them are decorated, such as this one here as well too. This one's decorated, pretty cool. So they decorate the glaze, or they paint over the glaze, all that. This one's glazed and then painted, so really, really cool. But okay, this mug right here. Here's the front of the mug, as you can see now. This mug, I would be incredibly lucky and excited if I were to sell this for $10. Maybe $10, probably less. In my opinion, it'd probably be more like a $7-ish mug, in my opinion. I'm not going to sell it. This is one of my collector. This one is not. This one's sold. This is a mug in my collection because I collect any mugs. It doesn't matter what they say on the front, but that matters a whole bunch to buyers and or collectors. What it says on the front. How many people are looking for Paleolithic Ice Age meals? Ice Age. When I saw Ice Age, I immediately thought of Mike Jones. If you guys are familiar with, Mike Jones, Ice Age, but it's subject matter here. This subject matter. So someone does have one listed right now for $10. You probably won't get $10 for this. You really, really need maybe somebody that worked for there. I don't know. It's a cool color, though. It'd probably be better if it just did not have that on there. If it was just a plain, blue mug. It's a really, really cool mug, in my opinion, which is why it's in my collection, because I love knitting mugs. The styling, the weight, the feel of the mug. I just like knitting mugs, and I collect all of them. No matter what they are, unless they're really like dishwasher damaged. So you want to be careful with your pottery, especially good pottery. You don't want to put them through a dishwasher. It won't ruin it over time. And it can cause crazing due to the heat. Crazing is caused by just changes in, think of like glass, why you don't put hot water on your windshield, if it's frozen over, because it's going to crack. Same thing here. Same reasoning here. But this other mug, okay, going back to subject matter, the worth in mugs, this one's only going to be like maybe $10. I'd be excited if it sold for $10. It's not going to sell for $10. This one here, same styling, obviously different color here. Still a knitting mug. But this one here is Bones Coffee. Now, Bones Coffee mugs, if you find any with Bones Coffee, it's going to be an above average mug. It's going to sell in the $20-ish range. If you find the one with the shark, now we're talking 40 plus. There was one that sold for $55, but that was free shipping. So do be aware of that. When people flash comps on the screen and it says free shipping, depending on the weight, like this one right here would probably be somewhere around $10 to ship it out. So subtract that $10 from the $55 that it sold for, because that's what they're going to be paying in shipping. So about a $40-ish mug, somewhere around $45-ish mug is what this one goes for. If you find the Bones Coffee with the shark, subject matter matters a whole bunch. That can change from a probably, in my opinion, a $5 to $6 mug. I keep going down price. $5 to $6 mug, or maybe a no sale mug to a sale mug, and we're talking way above average, in my opinion. Above average for me. Average mug selling price, around, and these are mugs that will sell, but they just don't go for that much, are going to be right around $10 to $15. 15 to 20, 15 to 25, in my opinion, is above average. Anything above that, you're like, wow, that's a pretty good mug. I'm going to be looking out for that. That's a bolo mug. There are mugs that go for up into the hundreds. I've sold mugs that go for up in the $100 range. I have another mug I just picked up, which is not here, which I thought I probably should have brought that out. But I found another mug that goes for $30 to $40. So there are mugs out there that do go for a lot of money. You just got to know the subject. I mean, you can't just pick up Deneen mugs and think, all right, they're all going to sell for 45 to $50. No, it's all about what's on the mug. I have plenty of Deneen mugs that are probably just worth a few bucks here and there, but I like them. They're in my collection. I don't buy them because they're worth a whole bunch. I don't collect them because they're worth a whole bunch. I like them. This is a part of my collection. This is not getting resold. I shouldn't say I'm not getting resold. I might get tired of Deneen mugs eventually in the future and then start selling them off. But for the meantime, this one's in my collection. It's a great mug to look out for. Bones Coffee. Here's another mug that sold. This is not Deneen. This is Natural Life, designed in USA, made in China. Now, if this did not have a mushroom scene on it, I would not be picking up this mug at all. I would not be. This sold for 20. What did this sell for? Come on. Come on. I was not prepared. $20.15 is what this mug sold. So in my opinion, this is an above average mug. A great mug to be on the lookout for, because mugs typically around at Goodwill's around $2.50 to $3, sometimes less, sometimes maybe closer to $5. So be aware of what you're paying for items as well too. You don't want to pay too much. You don't want to. $5 would probably be the roof on this one here. Anything more than that, you probably still could make some money on it, but you start cutting into your profit margins. They're worth it to even sell. It's going to be £2, so it's going to ship for close to $10. It's going to take a box. It's going to take padding and all that. So you got to take all that stuff in consideration when you're selling, especially mugs, anything breakable like that. But this one did really well, and it, because of the scene. If it was Natural Life and a blue mug with maybe just some trees and grass, maybe not. The fact that it's colorful, has like these built-in age antique looking spots to it, like it's rusting, but it's not. Really cool. Keep your eye out for it. $20 mug. Again, in my opinion, $20 for a mug is above average. To get somebody to pay $20 for a mug, come on. I'm not paying $20 for these mugs. I did pay $20 for a mug one time. I did buy a Denning mug when I saw one out and about at a restaurant. I was like, wow. But I try to find them at Goodwills. I try to get them at a great price. I'm always trying to get for a great price if I possibly can, because I just cheap. It's just my mentality, the reseller mentality. But that is it. That's the end of the video. I can't remember what else I was going to talk about, because there was something else I was going to talk about, and it completely left my mind. But that's okay. I'll bring it up in another video, maybe a short, maybe I haven't done a short in a while, but I got to do the breakdown of the Goodwill bins, what I purchased. I'm going to probably break it down by bag. So I'll probably do one video for one bag, one video for another bag, one bag for that bag, one video for that bag. So, let me know what you guys think of the what sold in this video. Let me know what you think of mugs. Do you like mugs? Do you not like mugs? Do you buy and sell mugs? I know there's a lot of, I think somebody fairly famous brought up about reselling mugs, and, like every category, 90 something % of them are not going to be worth it, but there may be, a few small percentage that are, and it's pretty rare to actually find, good ones, especially in mugs, that do sell for above average. But they're out there. They're out and about. So you got to be educated. You want to be as educated as possible. Know what's quality. Know what, what subject matter sells. And It'll help you. It'll help you make sales and stick around in this business if that's what you want. If you're trying to do it full time. I know a lot of people are cutting out. A lot of people started a few years ago, started when the good times were the good times, and which was several years ago, and now it's not. Now it's normal. Now it's normal times. Now it's where we're at the point where we should have been, a few years ago, around pandemic-ish area, and it'll still continue to grow. Don't worry, it's still going to continue to grow. It's not going anywhere. It's evolving, it's changing, but things change all the time. I've been doing this for well over 20 years, and I plan to do it for another 20 more years. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know the future. That is so good. That is so good. That is like breakfast tarts. I mean, I know a lot of people. I know my wife is like, "What do you mean? Like it's just alcohol." But it's like a finer palate. I don't know. Acquire taste. I don't know. I get pick up on all these things, and when you talk to like a chef, and they can pick out all the different little nuances of food and tell you what this was made of, what spice was in here, what spice is that. They can, I could do that with whiskey, but other liquors I cannot. So, or sometimes like tequila. Tequila to me all tastes the same. All tastes like all I taste is that strong agave flavor. And some people like it. I particularly don't, but some people do. Either way, I'm starting to ramble now, but that's the end of the video. I'm gonna go relax. It is a Friday, and hopefully you guys get time to relax. The clothes finally. Well, they changed for me. I think it's a slow rollout. So tomorrow I gotta start working on getting my clothing. I don't have that much, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But changing it from the what is it? Used excellent, used good, used fair. So be aware of that. It's starting to change for some people. It may have changed for you already. If you are primarily a clothing retailer or you sell clothes at all, go check your listings. You can bulk edit. I believe there are tutorials out there on how to bulk edit on eBay. So do look into that. You don't have to go one by one, changing each one. I'm gonna have to go in there and start looking at all my clothing, and I've already prepped for it back at the beginning of it when they said they were going to do it back towards the beginning of February. So I'm ready to go. I just noticed the change, so I'm gonna have to go in there and do that. I'll do that tomorrow morning. I'm not gonna do it on a Friday night. I'm gonna go sit down, kick back, relax. I already had a drink. Actually, I had 2 drinks already. I had a beer earlier. Modelo is my beer of choice. I had a Modelo. I took a picture of it if you want to see it. It's a Modelo. It's a Chavela. It looks like a michelada, but I don't like micheladas. But it's actually a Chavela, and they also do super Chavelas. But you can add camarones or shrimp to that. But look at that. Oh, that looks so delicious. And this restaurant we go to, typically you get like the pre-cooked shrimp, and it's kind of it's kind of like pre-cooked shrimp. Now they take fresh shrimp, they pan sear it, so you get a nice good crust on it. They dip it in chamoy, which is delicious, and then they dust it with tahine. Oh, and then they got the beer with tahine, with lime, with salt. They put on. Oh, so good, so good, so delicious. I probably ate way too much because those shrimp are like jumbo size shrimp. Such a delicious meal. So I'm gonna go sit back, relax. All my work's done for the day. I got all my listings up. I got a shipping out. Now it's the weekend. Obviously, we really don't stop. When you're in this, you really don't stop. Some people like, oh, I'm gonna work 8 hours. I'm gonna do this. But the reality is, you should always be going. You always be thinking about it. Always be processing. Thinking about things. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. It doesn't rule my mind all the time, but it's constantly there, sitting in the back, and it doesn't worry me. Because I'm prepped. I'm ready to go. I know what I got to do, and I have you know, plenty of stuff to list, and I gotta build. I do have to build up my draft bank though. See, I'm starting to ramble again, so I'm gonna end the video now. That's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch and my most recent video that I did upload.